I want to talk about my out of body experiences I had through the years. I only had two out of body experiences. The first one, um, I met my grandmother, um, and the second one, this was more of a meditation. I was meditating and stuff like that, and I was meditating for 2 hours. Um, and who I met in that out of body experience I had, um, I met Jesus Christ or Yoshua. Um, let's start from the first one. Well, the first out of body experience I had is when I went to sleep, and because I was asleep when I had this out of body experience, and I was probably in a very much deep subconscious, and and somehow I was in this like white place, like it was bright light and stuff like that, and it seems like, oh man, it's very hard to explain. Time was weird. It was different and stuff like that. I'll explain it more when I go on. And what happened, right? When I was in this place, it was like a chair, and it was just like a patch of grass, just on that white spot there, and it was like a just a chair and a white patch of grass, and probably a tree, if I can remember. And somehow something was telling me to sit down, and I sat down on this chair, and this young woman came up to me, and she said to me, no, oh wait, how, no, I have to rephrase that again. Um, I said to her, like, do I know you? And she said back to me, you don't remember me, do you? And I said, no. And she kind of like said it how it is, and I'm your grandmother. And I said, Nan, is that you? Like, man, you look beautiful. And like, hard to. And yeah, it was very beautiful. Like, it's like, even me talking about this, it's really full on. Um, when I met her, she was in her mid 20s. You know, like, I don't know, it's like 20s in her younger days. It's like when you become a spirit, when you die and you become a spirit or something, um, you become practically you're in a different body, but you're oh, it's hard to explain. I'm trying to not screw this up. It's like your body transforms back to where it was in its prime. That's how I can describe it. Like, because she was in a younger, she was when she was in her primes. When she was young and beautiful, but like she's in a different body or something like that. It's hard to explain, but it's still my grandmother. but she's just transformed and changed, but it's still the same self. And I actually seen younger pictures of my grandmother, and she looked so beautiful when she was young. She even looked like my mum when she was, younger. Um, it's even giving me the chills now, even talking about it. But um, she even told me good news, what's about to happen. Sometimes some bad news and here and there, but you get over it. You get through it, grandson, more or less. But the you be like the thing is, I had well, my sister gave me a niece, and my grandmother didn't really didn't really allow to tell me the future and stuff like that. You're going to get a big surprise soon. And I said to her, "What is it?" And I can't tell you. You see for yourself. And suddenly I just woke up. And she told me a lot of things, but it's hard to explain what she said. But that was the big surprise in my life was my niece. Um, my niece was she's kind of like the apple of my eye. She's like my best friend in a way. Um, for my nan to tell me this directly from her words, like telling it in riddles, not in riddles, just you'll get a big surprise one day. One day something's going to happen really good for you. Like a big surprise. You're going to you know it really you know shook me up in a way when I met my nan again, because I was very close to my grandmother when I was young. I was very young when she died, and yeah, I was very close to my nan. She used to make me watch like old black and white movies and stuff like that, especially like King Kong 1933 and Oliver Twist, Gone with the Wind, um, Cleopatra, and Lawrence of Arabia. Yeah, I miss my nan. Miss her very much. Um, the second one, and this is going to be the end. Um, it just well, practically it happened close to near here, um, where I live. Um, like I was out for the day, like walking around. Like I came over to my sister's house for a holiday, like to come and visit her, and for a couple of weeks, for a week, and like coming back to my sister's house, right? Suddenly, she was not home, and yeah, didn't know when she's going to come back and stuff like that. And what I'd done to kind of like pass the time, um, I meditated, you know, where she walks into go into a house. Like she used to live in flats and apartments and stuff like that, next to people and stuff like that. And what I done, I've been studying meditation by a lot of YouTubers and stuff like that, and especially Eric Dubay and stuff like that. And suddenly, when I was start meditating, I was like, I usually when I meditate, I usually cross my legs like this and stuff like that. And suddenly, I close my eyes, and I usually focus on one sound, and I was probably focusing on the trees and the birds. I was focusing on that sound, on that key sound. I was focusing on that key sound, the birds and the trees. And when I was, practically, how long I was meditating for, I tell you the truth. And one of my sister's next door neighbors told me how long I was meditating for. I was meditating for 2 hours. 2 hours. I never meditate that long before. That was practically more or less a record in my book. And suddenly, I was, you know, concentrating on the sound and stuff like that. Concentrating on the birds, the leaves hitting leaves and stuff like that because it was windy a little bit that day, and you're hearing the birds, beautiful sounds and stuff like that, and hearing the leaves hitting the gum tree and stuff like that. And suddenly I just felt in a deep subconscious straight away. And suddenly I seen a familiar face. And I knew who this man was. I knew who this man was. And he had brown eyes, brown hair, a very long beard, about that long, and he had a brown tan skin. And I met Jesus Christ when I had this out of body experience, and I seen the fucking holes in his arms, and I seen when he was crucified, right there. That's where he was, where the nails hit his hands, right on the wrist. And somehow he was looking at me with a look like everything is going to be like more or less everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. He didn't look like all these pictures I seen in books, man. He looked like Middle Eastern appearance, like Jewish appearance, like he looked like that, like Middle Eastern Jewish appearance, like that kind of looking people. And he had eyes of wisdom. He just looked normal when he was like looking at me, like, and I think he more or less was saying to me when he was looking at me, it's like, I don't like. It seems like he was talking like in telepathic in a way, like saying everything is going to be okay, like everything's going to be all right. And suddenly I just snapped out of the out of body experience and just came back to Earth, back to flat Earth. And yeah, that out of body experience really shook me up when I met him, and I cried. I had tears rolling down my eyes, like I was crying, like I just seen the Son of Man, the Son of God, and I was stunned and shocked. I was full of wonder, and it's like I had so much emotion. It was to the point where I wanted to ring my mum up. I met Jesus Christ. I met Jesus Christ. I met Jesus Christ. And when I was like saying that on the phone, they say when you meet like God or Jesus, you cry. You don't cry in sadness. You cry in joy. And I cried with joy. And I was crying on the phone with mum with my mum with joy. I met Son of God. I met Jesus Christ. I was like that man. And I was telling my sister. My sister was laughing at me, and especially her boyfriend. And I was upstairs, like telling my mum, I met Jesus. Like I met Jesus. I met Jesus. And my mum telling me, I believe you, son. I believe you, son. And yeah, that was the most powerful out of body experience I ever had. When I had that out of body experience, and I thought I was between, like, what's it called? The living world and heaven itself, like between. I was like between that, and suddenly, even when I was in that out of body experience, time itself, like I said before in my Nen, when I had that out of body experience, that out of body experience, time is very weird when you're in a like spiritual world. It doesn't work the way how everything does here. It works like infinity in a way. Like it's how they explain it to you. It's like time doesn't exist where I was. It's kind of like stood still in infinity. If I'm explaining that in a right way, it's very full on, man. Like I was shooken up by this, and even me talking about this is giving me shakes. It's really giving me shakes, and I never had something like that ever happen to me in my life, especially meeting the Son of Man, the Son of God. You know, and suddenly when I woke up from, let's go back to where when I woke up, one of my sister's next door neighbors came out and talked to me, and you're out here for 2 hours meditating. And like when I was there with Jesus, it was for 5 minutes. 5 minutes just looking at him. 5 minutes of looking at him. And suddenly it felt like I was not gone for long. Time works weird in that realm. Time it's weird in that realm. It's very weird. It doesn't work. It kind of like stops. It's infinity or something. It's hard to explain. And it's just like weird. That's my story. my out of body experience story, and and I've been wanting to do a video like this for a long time, and I just didn't know when the time to do it. And thank you for if you're watching this, thank you for watching this. And it's been very hard for me to even get this out here and get this across to a lot of people. And yeah, it really this these out of body experiences had, you know, changed my life. It did. And thank you for watching.